All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Black History Month. Happy February. My name is Davon Reese. I'm founder of Funderr. We're a crowdfunding platform, and we're actually the first Black-owned and women-owned crowdfunding platform for commercial real estate. And I am delighted we have our funders. They're really sponsors, but I'm all about branding, so they're funders in the investor world. And so we are delighted to have our funders on with us. They're all Black, well, in Blasian. There you
Please.
go. There we go. So we're still you still count. So that's why you're here for Black History Month, right? And so how we're gonna do, it's gonna be a panel, and we're just gonna have our panelists answer questions. It's gonna be a conversation, and then we'll leave it open for you all to answer any questions that you may have. And so we're going to get started with introductions. So, and for those who don't know anything about Vestor, if you haven't heard about us, make sure you go to vestor.com. I feel like you have heard about us because that's why you're here. And if you haven't, welcome. How many people, this is their first Vestor webinar? Maybe? No? I guess everybody? I don't believe it. We're going to make this interactive now. This won't be a boring night. No? Okay. Well, let's get started. Well, we'll have Adrian, if you could introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are. Adrian?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adrian. My name is Adrian Conish. I am a native of Louisiana. I am a real estate investor for 17 years, owned about 48 properties across 7 Louisiana parishes, also known as a county, Texas, Virginia, and Rhode Island. I am also a multi-brand franchisee. I've been with Subway for 5 years, and I'm onboarding with 2 additional restaurateur franchises as well. I am a former DOD acquisition.
Did you break?
Oh, yeah, I think my internet.
Okay.
I am leading an acquisition for the We Stay Suites in Belle Chase, Louisiana, which borders New Orleans.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, since we had the ladies go, now it's the men, so I'm going to start in alphabetical order. So, Bruce, you're next. Introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are.
All right. So I'm Bruce Burdine. Me and my wife, Kamiko, we're both real estate investors. We specialize in short-term rentals. We have a small portfolio of STRs in Florida and one in Tennessee. We started to invest in hotels, and right now we are building a boutique hotel in Secret Beach, Belize. Um, so and also that me and Camilo are both anesthetists. We put people to sleep and wake them up every day in the OR.
Fine. Ramel.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Ramel Lee, managing partner of RD Lee Capital Partners. I'm a recently retired New York State employee, did 22 years. But during that time, I built several businesses, including a security firm, a logistics company, events rentals, and party rental equipment. Got into the short-term rental space. Then came across the Davon and got into hotel investing, and currently just launched a fund, RDL Hotel Fund One, which is on the Vestor platform to raise capital to purchase a couple of hotel assets, get other people involved in hotel investing.
Well, welcome. All right. So basically, everyone on here, if you notice, they're pretty much all invested in real estate, and their deals are all on Vestor. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat so y'all can look at it if you haven't invested. I know some folks I've known have invested already in some of the deals, and so haven't. So Adrian, we're going to kick it off with you again. So how did you get started in commercial real estate?
So I actually stumbled into real estate. I used to sit on the Parish Board of Variance and Adjustments in my former life in Louisiana. And I overheard some of the other gentlemen who sat on the council talking about the upcoming tax sale. It was something that I was unfamiliar with. I did my research. Behold, the upcoming tax sale was a couple of weeks away. It was first with the parish and then with the city. I was able to participate in both of them. There was a young man at the first one sitting under the large oak tree who was admiring the scenery. I walked over and I asked him some questions. I was able to gather some information to participate at the end of both of them. And in participation in the second one, there was a misprint in the newspaper, and I was the only person to show up. The deputy handed a list to me. She said, circle what you want, come back and get it. Between the two parts, I spent $8,000 and had acquired over $1 million in real estate. And that lit a fire under me, and I continued. That was in 2008, and here we are 17 years later.
Wow. And Bruce, how did you and Nico get into commercial real estate or get into real estate?
I got into real estate a long time ago. You can make me date myself. I don't know. So I got into real estate way back when, like I'm saying, I'm going to date myself. I got back in. I ordered a CD program off the TV called Carlton Sheet, No Money Down, Zero Money Down. And I bought that and I read that thing front to back, listened to every CD in there. And I went out there and I started getting some properties for zero down, lease purchasing, doing all kinds of things. And then 2008 hit and you were over leveraged and, you know, everything went pretty bad at that point. Kind of got out of it for a little bit, decided to go back to school, got into the medical field and saved up some more money and then started to get back into real estate. But then I learned about short-term rental investing, and I knew that I could probably like 3x, 4x my ROI. And a couple of my friends were looking into getting into real estate, and they said, let's do this Airbnb together. And they kept talking about it, kept talking about it, never pulled the trigger. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it by myself. So I went out and bought my first short-term rental. And by that time, Kamiko and I started dating, and she would drive down and she would help put the kitchen together, help decorate, and we opened our first Airbnb, and we haven't stopped since. We started buying up to one to two every year. And then after that, I was like, I kind of want to scale. And how do I scale a short-term rental? And I was like, well, it's got to be like a couple of short-term rentals all in one. So we thought about a fourplex. We thought about bed and breakfast. And then we found Davon, and I was like, babe, what about a hotel? She's like, yeah, let's see what it's about. So we contacted Davon, we got under her tutorship, and then everything is going to plan. We talked about it and we brainstormed, and I love Belize and I want to do some things that are international. So we started to build a 20-room boutique hotel in Belize. That's how this thing came full circle for me.
Oh man, you have a different energy when Kamiko isn't here.
Why do you say that?
It's a different energy. It's a good energy. It's a different. I'm so used to seeing y'all together. For those who, that is my fault. You're still no. You're doing great. You're doing great. I'm just so used to
I'm doing great. No, I'm joking. No, like Kamiko is usually here, but I'm just telling you, Davon did not extend the invitation.
That is so the folks who are looking for Kamiko, that is my fault. I know now. Y'all are.
It's a power couple. That's what we do.
It's a package. Well, y'all two are also expecting. She's
literally due in 2 weeks, everybody. So
that was part of it. It was like, I didn't know. That's really what it was. So,
And plus, we're putting this new studio together, so it's a walk for her to come out to this new studio.
oh, see, exactly. Let her rest. So don't get too mad. Not too mad. Okay. See, it was
The next one, she'll be here.
next. She'll be here, and then we'll have the baby. We'll get the baby will be the third panelist.
I'll put them right here.
Right here. It'll be the three bird dimes. That's how it'll be. Because y'all will always be together. I love it. I love it. Okay, now and we have Ramel. How did you get into real estate?
So this goes back a few years when my younger sister was getting married. Me and my brothers, we all rented like this big house down in Orlando, and we're hanging out in the pool. And I just started looking at the landscape. I have one brother who's in architecture, another brother who's a general contractor, and I just said, I finance, invest and raise capital and things like that. And so I said, we have like a making of a HD TV show right here in our own family. And so as a joke, and we started looking into different verticals in real estate that we could get into. And we landed on short-term rentals. And we actually found an interesting product called a condotel. And so it's basically a hotel, a room within the hotel that you can buy and own the room and rent it out as a short-term rental. And so that's how we started in how I started in real estate. Got into some other real estate ventures. Came across your program and said, why just have one room in the hotel when I can have the whole hotel? And so here we are.
Y'all doing well. Y'all doing well. That's it. Next question. Why is Black ownership in real estate and business essential for building generational wealth, and how can we accelerate that process? I'm gonna bring that back to you, Ramel.
So, Black ownership in real estate and business it's not just essential, it's foundational to building generational wealth. Real estate has been historically one of the most reliable paths to financial security and long-term prosperity. You're going back to the days of landlords, right? Kings and queens, and those were the people who had ownership, had all the rights, had all the power. So, when you own property or a business, you're not just accumulating wealth for yourself. You're planting seeds for your children and your grandchildren. Historically, we haven't had opportunities to really participate in building generational wealth through real estate and business ownership. But now, I think the key to that is, cooperative economics, working together, pooling our resources and funds together. That's why a platform like Vestor is so important, because it's a vehicle that allows us to exercise in cooperative economics and working together with each other to acquire real estate and business, because hotels both, to build generational wealth. And that was a big reason why I launched the fund in particular, because I wanted to give as many people access and opportunity to help start their own journey in investing in real estate and businesses.
Thank you for that. Bruce, what about you? Why is Black ownership and Blasian ownership in real estate and business essential for building generational wealth, and how can we accelerate the process or the progress?
I just think that historically we haven't had the opportunities that other people have had. I think it's important that this day and age that like Ramel said, we put each other on, that we help each other excel. I think that together we can get in the game when we're normally not even considered to be in the game. As far as Black hotel ownership, there's not that many people out there doing it. And as far as people doing boutique hotels, people investing internationally, not that many either. So I feel like it's important that we I want to say, I'm trying to do it without playing like the super race card here on Black History Month, but it's like
Okay.
we haven't had the opportunity. We're not allowed in the room, right? And I feel like we got our foot in the door, and I feel like we got to pry it open. The only way we can pry it open is if we have a group of us to enter the room, and that's why it's important to me. That's why it's important. Like I could have funded the entire Belize investment with debt. I could have done the whole thing myself, but I felt that it was super important that we put it on Investor to give everybody a chance to own a hotel and get in the game. And that's why I thought Investor was super important to us.
Oh, thank you. I put the link in the chat for folks who want to invest in a list of their deals, the Belize deal, Ramel's fund, and Adrian's deal as well. Adrian, what are your thoughts? Why is Black ownership in real estate and business essential for building generational wealth, and how can we accelerate progress?
So I wholeheartedly want to echo with what both Bruce and Raymel said. For me, I am only 4 generations removed from slavery. And Black ownership in real estate and business is essential because real property and assets appreciate over time. It affords us the opportunity to build a strong foundation for long-term wealth building. For me, ownership, it means control, financial independence, and it gives us the ability to pass that down from generations and generations, and not just the asset, but the knowledge. Because for so often, we within the Black community fail to be served equitably. And the key, it's really not just about owning an asset for me. It's about creating systems and networks, and like Romel said, cooperative economics that ensure we have continued ownership, continued growth, seat at the table, and that these systems can be passed down for generations.
Okay, next question. So what challenges, and I think y'all touched on it a little bit, but what challenges have you faced as a Black or Blasian investor or funder, and what strategies help you overcome them? I'm going to start with Bruce this time.
What's that question again?
Okay, it says, what challenges have you faced as a Black investor or funder, Black sponsored developer, real estate investors? What challenges have you faced, Black or Blasian, and what strategies help you overcome them?
The challenge that I had is trying to scale. When I'm trying to scale, funding was super hard to find, and education was difficult to come around. Like, there are people who want to sell courses and stuff on hotel investing, but I couldn't relate to them. They're all about like syndications and things like that, and it's kind of basically what I'm doing. But I wanted somebody to actually do like one-on-one coaching, and that's where I found you, Davon, and that's the reason I started doing that. Literally, just like if I ever had a question about hotel investing, I was just like, hey, what is this? What does this term mean? Because nobody ever teaches. There's so many terms in hotel investing, guys, that are not common, that is different than regular real estate investing, that you absolutely need to have a coach or a mentor to help you through that, or you're going to make some huge mistakes. And I think the education hurdle was the biggest obstacle for me because nobody teaches it. Nobody explains it to us. I can go out and get a mortgage on a single family home. That's fine. I can learn how to do that. But, the terms like ADR and getting loans, like how do you get a loan for a hotel? Like, you know what I mean? It's a little different. It's a little different. So I think that's the biggest hurdle for me is terminology and education.
Y'all doing well though. Between you and Kamiko, y'all hit the ground. Y'all was just like,
I mean, as soon as you
we
like
was
gave
giving
us
y'all homework.
information,
I was like, dang it. Y'all got like 8 pluses. Like, I mean, now y'all developing a whole hotel. So y'all killing it.
Thank you.
All right. Ramel, I'm gonna bring it back to you. What challenges have you faced being Black when it comes to getting funding and financing?
Well, I mean, so we're doing something a bit unique from the others is in the fact that we have what you call a blind fund. So the biggest thing is really the educational piece when it comes to explaining how it works and how you benefit from it and what are the benefits of being capitalized before going after a particular asset because most people don't have access to or exposure to products like this. Myself, as we talk about like accredited investors and non-accredited investors, I didn't have access
But you gotta
to.
explain it. Not everybody know what it is.
Okay, so an accredited investor is someone who makes at least 200,000 a year, 300,000 as a married couple, or has $1 million net worth, not counting their primary residence. And so it wasn't until I became an accredited investor that I was exposed to all of these different opportunities. And we get exposed as a public employee. I got exposed to 401 stocks and bonds, mutual funds, and things like that. But when I became an accredited investor, I got exposed to being able to invest in whiskey barrels, Broadway shows, and hotels. And so
In tech.
me having that access, that exposure, it became like a flywheel. Now I started learning more about investments. I started learning more about finance. I started learning more about how to invest in commercial real estate. So, getting the exposure is what giving people the exposure has been the biggest challenge. And the strategies that I've used is really just getting out there and speaking to people, getting online and speaking to people. I am not this thing, but you see like this podcast equipment. I just got like, I don't have a setup as nice as Bruce yet, but I'm learning that I have to be the vehicle to give people this exposure, and I hope that it changes their life as much as it changed mine.
Yeah, y'all both doing a good job with the podcast. All right, Adrian, what challenges have you faced as a Black investor or funder?
So for me, as a Black investor, as well as a Black female entrepreneur, couple of things, limited access to capital, lack of representation. I don't see a lot of people that look like me in this space. And then education. There are many Black entrepreneurs. There's so many historical disparities in lending, knowledge share, processes, and representation. One thing that was key for me is building strong networks. Relationships matter. So connecting with Ms. Devon, partnering with her, partnering with other established investors, mentors, advisors, lenders, bankers, entrepreneurs. Those relationships are significant. They open doors to other networks and other opportunities. And, one thing my grandfather used to tell me, when I was a younger adult, and has come full circle in my understanding, right? Your net worth is your network. And also, for the capital, right, to get creative, right? And that's where investor comes into play, right? There's structure, right? There's crowdfunding, there's seller financing, there's joint ventures, there's pool funds, right? There are ways that are powerful where we capital. And that goes back to the knowledge, right? We don't know what we don't know sometimes. And we have to own the knowledge. We have to own the process, right? We have to do the research. We have to read, right? We have to ask questions and ask more questions, right? And growing our knowledge, growing our network, and getting creative with the funding allows us to be in a position of power and better understanding, not just for us as funders, but also for us as investors, because I myself have been an investor on the other side of the table in 11 other deals, right? Seed equity deals. And ultimately for me, stay persistent, right? Persistence pays off, right? The disparities have not been The disparities have been the things that have put hurdles in place, but we're here now, right? We're here now. We have Vester, we have Davon, we have Bruce, we have Raymel, we have funders who've come before us. Funders are going to come after us, and that's what success looks like. So, the Vester platform, the Bond Group, right, and others who look like us, we're building our own table, right? So, take a stand and do what you need to do, right? Don't wait for them to invite you to the room, right? Build your own table, build your own network, get creative, and let's come together and do great things.
I love it. So it sounds like y'all answered this a little bit already, but maybe not too much. I'm still gonna ask it. So Adrian, I'm gonna ask you again, or ask you next. What advice would you give to aspiring funders and investors who are looking to get into commercial real estate?
So this really goes back to how my journey started in real estate, how my journey started in franchising, how my journey started in entrepreneurship, right? Start where you are, right? You don't need millions, right? Start where you are. There's many types of properties, syndications, crowdfunding, joint ventures, pool funds. You don't need millions and millions of dollars to get started. I started out, like I mentioned, I was a thousandaire when I brought my first group of properties, right? I didn't have millions. I didn't have access to millions, right? One of the things for me as well is as I continue to evolve in my understanding and my knowledge, right? I'm staying where I am, but I'm thinking long term, right? What can I do tomorrow? What can I do over the next decade? Or how can I hold these assets, right? Or should I sell these assets? Should I reinvest my profits, right? How do I leverage, right? How do I scale, right? Just continue to think, how can I evolve from where I am and surround yourself with experts? I can't say that enough. Find mentors, professionals, go to conferences, build relationships, get with lenders, brokers, other investors. And for me, the thing that was most important is owning my narrative. This is my journey, right? I have humble beginnings. This is how I started. This is where I am. This is how far I've come. This is where I'm going. But owning that narrative, not waiting for someone to allow me as a Black female entrepreneur to step into this space, right? Same thing with Ms. Davon. She's done a fabulous job with Vesta, right? She has taken control for other funders who look like us. And just take that ownership over your financial future, over opportunities, and creating opportunities for the next generation. There are so many vehicles that we can use that are powerful and communicative to build wealth. Now is the time for us to claim our stake.
Ramel, what about you? What advice would you give for folks who's looking to get into the space?
So my advice would be take educated risks. Don't be afraid to take educated risks, right? The saying no risk, no reward is very true. And how you take an educated risk is first and foremost, learn, right? Learn about what the different asset classes are, hotels, multifamily, shopping centers, things like that. Fine. And learn about something that you like, right? It'll force you to, if you like it, you'll want to learn more. Network, be around other people who are interested in commercial estate, people who are in the business. Join industry groups, connect, go to meetups, get around people. People love to, as much as you want to learn, there's people who want to teach. And then use tools like Vester, right? Get on these calls, look at deals, see what's going on out there. Don't be afraid to take risk, right? But just take educated risks. Learn as much as you can, network as much as you can, and use all the tools that are out there as much as you can.
Bruce, what about you?
I think Adrian and Ramel hit it all. I agree. I think the thing you need to do is know that there are people out there that have already made the mistakes and have learned from those mistakes, and you don't have to make those same mistakes. you can literally skip those hurdles by talking to people, getting a mentor, getting somebody who's already in the game. Everybody's out there. Everybody's an open book. I haven't not met one person from Investor or the Black Hotel Investor Group, from anybody that I've ever networked with. Nobody is like, I'm going to keep this information in my pocket. I'm not going to share the wealth. Everybody shares the wealth. And I applaud everybody that's on this call right now, because that's what you're doing. You're learning. You are actually getting on here to see what everybody's talking about, see what everybody's doing, to see what I'm investing in, what Adrian's investing in, what Ramel's investing in. So I applaud everybody. I think this is the very first step. All you got to do is keep going, keep educating yourself, keep surrounding yourself with smart people. And like Adrian said, yeah, your network is your net worth. The more people you get around, the more people you surround yourself with, the more successful you'll be.
Now, that's for everyone. I'm gonna start with you, Ramel. As we celebrate, well, we're ending pretty much Black History Month, but some folks, like Omari say, he celebrates it every day. He don't even post anything during Black History Month because he feel like we should do it every day, which I try to do. But as we celebrate Black history, what steps can we take today to create a lasting impact on future generations in real estate investing? I start off with you, Ramel.
I heard a great quote that says, first you learn, then you earn, and then you return, right? So what you can do first is learn about investing and commercial real estate and things, the business in itself, right? The first thing you should do is learn about building wealth in your finances and things like that. And then you earn, right? You do the investing, work with people, work on deals together, come together with people. That's the best part. And then you return, right? You let people know that you're investing, that you're in the business. Let them know your successes. Let them know your failures. Let them see the scars and that you're still standing, right? So I think that's really how, that quote sums up the best way to create a lasting impact. You learn, you earn, and then you return.
Adrian, what are you? What about you? What steps can we take today to create a lasting impact on future generations?
Man, that's a hard act to follow. That learn, earn, and return. I'm gonna have to steal that one. I really like that. I really like that. So as we honor Black history, for me, the actionable steps that I would say to take, to, like Mr. Ramel just said, right, educate, share the knowledge, right. Financial literacy is something, I have two adult sons. There are things that I didn't know, coming up and as a young adult, that I wanted to ensure as I learned them, I wanted to empower my sons so that they wouldn't run into the same brick walls that I ran into with the lack of financial literacy that I had early on as an adult, right? But there's so many ways we can learn it. We can learn it in our church, we can learn in our community, from our friends, mentorship. I would just say, learn early and then share it. And within our communities, right, let's create knowledge sharing pools, right? Share the wealth, share the knowledge, right? Economics works, right? Ramel spoke about that earlier. The more we know, the more we share it, right? We can come together and we can acquire and we can scale larger assets, right? So what we can't do individually, we can do collectively. Reinvest in our communities, right? I was looking the other day, right? There's a lot of stuff going on in Detroit. There's some stuff going in Chicago, right? We all know about gentrification, right? They're not doing something that we can't do, right? In our own communities, in our own backyard, right? Let's take those opportunities again to take advantage of them. And for me, what's most important is, I want to leave this space, this earth, better than I found it. So I want to pass down, right? Financial literacy, independence, freedom. Those are things that I want to pass down. And for me, I'll say Black wealth, it's not just about making money. It's about ensuring my great grandchildren inherit assets and not debt, right? By taking these steps, we're celebrating Black history collectively, and we're owning it, and we're creating generational wealth.
Bruce, what are your thoughts? What steps can we take today creating a lasting impact for future generations?
I think we need to change the narrative of how we view ourselves. I think when we ask people like, "What do you do?" I 100% used to say, you know, I'm in the medical field, I'm in this, I'm doing this. I classified myself with my job. But the moment I started saying that I'm a real estate investor, the moment that I wasn't ashamed to say that, you'd be surprised at how many doors started opening and how many questions you get and how much discussion opens up just from saying that. You know, instead of saying, you know, hey, I'm a social worker, you say, I'm a real estate investor, or I'm an investor. I love to invest in the. As soon as you do that, your circle will, I guarantee you, will triple, if not quadruple, because other people are thinking the same thing. They're just as scared to say it, right? They're kind of, I think we grew up, and I think we are accustomed to be kind of ashamed of this idea of trying to become successful and try to do new things, that we're afraid to tell everybody that we're investors. I know that the very first time I told people that I'm building a boutique hotel felt very, very weird, you know, or to say, hey, I'm an LP in a hotel in this area. It felt weird to say. But the moment I started doing that, people were like, oh yeah, I'm interested. The moment I told people that I was going to invest in a boutique hotel in Belize, people were like, where's Belize? What's going on with Belize? I want to go to Belize. How do I invest in your deal? It just snowballed from there, only because I started that conversation. So if I could tell anybody right now, is do not be afraid to tell everybody that you are an investor.
I love it. I love it. So I can't have y'all all on here and y'all not pitch y'all deals. Like, hello. So shoot y'all shot. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with you, Bruce.
All right.
Let folks know, first off, let folks know how they can find you and then a little bit about your deal.
You can find us, me and Kamiko, because that is my partner, my wife. You can find us on YouTube at Blazing Station. I put that in the chat earlier. You can also find us on Investor. Our deal is on Investor. We are building a 20-room boutique hotel on the beaches of Secret Beach, Belize. Beautiful Caribbean blue waters. It's really unique because it's going to be about the Mayan culture, the whole aesthetic, the way the architecture is based on Mayan history and about the 4 elements. We will be the very first hotel in Secret Beach area. We're going to have 2 swimming pools. We're going to have a rooftop restaurant and / wedding venue. Secret Beach is the next Tulum, is the next Cancun. And if you're not in this deal right now, you're going to look back 20 years and be like, oh man, I had the opportunity. Just think about it right now. If you had the opportunity to invest in Cancun or Tulum 15 years ago, you guys, you'd be having 5, 6 deals right now. I guarantee it. So don't miss out. I'm pinching my deal. You can get into this deal with us for as little as $2,500 on Investor. $2,500. You can become a hotel owner. And we're giving out equity, guys. We're giving lifetime equity. And that's my pitch, guys. I'm so excited about it. I could really talk about it for like 20 hours.
Bruce put me on the Belize. And my baby, my 6-year-old son calls it police. So we going, look, we going back. All right, hey, Adrian, you're next. Let folks know how they can find you and let folks know about your deal.
So my deal as well is on the Investor platform. The hotel acquisition is the We Stay Suites in Belle Chase. It is a 57-room extended hotel. Belle Chase borders the city of New Orleans, Louisiana. The property is currently cash flowing. It is cash flowing at 40%. It is currently, for the last 3 years, and as of 2024, it has had a year-round 94% occupancy, which is absolutely phenomenal for it to sustain that year-round. And it sits on over 8 acres of land. The most beautiful part about this deal is it is the only hotel that sits in the middle of a thriving oil and gas industry in Louisiana, the Port of Plaquemines, as well as the Joint Naval Base. There is a $500 million port project, a $21 billion, and yes, I said billion, dollar export facility terminal that's expanding the radius 11 miles, and a methanol plant. This deal is phenomenal. And you can find it on Investor, and also my website, www.adrian.biz.
I put their information in the chat as well. Okay. Uh-oh. Can I edit that? Okay, yeah. All right. Ramel, you up next. Let folks know how they can find you, because you have a weekly podcast as well. How they can and tell folks about your deal.
So like the other funders on the chat today, my deal is also Investor. You can find out what we've our track record and what we've been up to on our website at rdleecp.com. And you can learn more about the hotel business in general on our weekly podcast. Is economic empowerment. I put the link in the chat that you can look at. What we're doing is we're running a fund, right? So we're looking to acquire $12 to $14 million worth of hotel assets. So that's 2 to 4 hotels that we're looking to have in diverse locations. We're seeing deals in the north, in the southeast, in the Midwest. And the reason we're looking to diversify, I mean, we don't want to put all of our assets, let's say like in the southeast, and like one bad hurricane season takes us out. We want to be able to take advantage of acquiring assets at, because we're capitalized, we have a different ways we can acquire assets. So we can acquire assets on auctions, through tax notes, things of that nature, so that we can get really good deals. Especially due to the high interest rates that all real estate investors are facing now. We're giving a targeted 8% pref return, and then an 80-20 split with the investors. It's a 5-year hold with only $10,000. You can get into this fund with only $10,000, and we're looking to cash out. Like, we got a target of 2.66 equity return, basically. Making more than 2 times your money is the target at the end of the 5 years. So that's what we're doing with the RDL Hotel Fund 1.
Well, thank you all. I left some time for questions. I know folks have been asking questions in the chat. I know someone was asking about short-term rentals or mid-term rentals. I don't know, Bruce, if you're offering consulting or coaching for the folks who want to get in that space, because you and Kamiko have done extremely well. So definitely connect with Bruce if you want to learn more in that space. I put his information in there as well to connect with them. But yeah, do we have any questions for the panelists? We got a couple minutes left.
Hey, Devon, it's Deidre. Can you hear me? Hi. So I just had closeout dates for Bruce. Do you have a certain closeout date? Same for Adrian and for Ramel?
As far as our Belize Hotel, we have extended our closeout date to the end of 2025.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adrian.
So we are 9 days left to invest in the We Stay Suites. The deadline is March 4th.
And for us, our first closing round will close April 25th.
Okay. Thank you.
Somebody asked me when are we breaking ground in Louise? We are breaking ground in this summer, 2025. It takes 2 years to for us to complete the build of a 6-story boutique hotel.
Thank you.
So Bruce, that being said, what day or what year do you plan to be fully operational?
So we break ground in 2025. We should be done the beginning of 29, the end of 28. If everything goes, you know how construction is. If everything goes according to plan, we should be done at the end of 28, the beginning of 29 for the peak high season of Belize.
And how much are you trying to raise, Bruce?
So we are raising, so with Vestor, we're raising 2 million.
Okay.
Right? You can get in with 2,500. We do have some incentives that expire on the 28th, the end of Black History Month, the end of my birthday month of February.
Happy belated birthday.
Guys, thank you, thank you.
Jameer, you got to sing Bruce happy birthday.
Happy birthday
Hey
to
to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Hey,
Happy
Jameer.
birthday to ya. There we go. Yay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Good job, Adrian. We had to do it. We had to do it the Stevie Wonder version.
That was a good version.
So we have a question that says, will the panelists host a Q&A for their specific deals? I don't know if you all, they all have each link to their respective deal. They actually did a pitch and they answered a lot of questions in there, but you can reach out to them directly if you have any additional questions. And also you can just log on to the website. Some folks have just been logging on to the website and answering the questions, and the funders been answering the questions on the website. So we got another question. What are your incentives? Bruce referenced. So Bruce, what are your incentives for your project?
So the Vestor incentive is already done, but we do have the 10K investor incentive still going on. So what happens is if you, I know the minimum is $2,500 to invest, but if you invest $5,000, you are going to get a percentage off your hotel stays for life, because this is an equity deal. We don't plan on retiring, right? We don't plan on like selling the hotel to a large flag or anything like that. We plan on keeping this for generations. Our game is the generational wealth game, so you could pass this equity down from generation to generation to generation. But the incentives, the discounts for life is for that very first investor who does that. You cannot pass that discount excuse me, from generation to generation. So whoever is on the official LLC or official title to get that equity, you'll have the incentives to get the discounted rate for life. I can, if anybody wants a list of those incentives, just put it on here and I will get with you and I will send you the actual email with the written word of the incentives that we're doing.
You can, okay, well, Ramel put a link where you can schedule a call with him. Adrian, I don't know if you want to put your Calendly link in. Bruce, I don't know if you want to put your Calendly link in for folks that may have questions. The links, I'll put the link in the chat as well. They answered also a lot of questions on their pitch as well. So a lot of it may be answered already. But I'll go ahead and add it to the chat. There we go. So that way you can view all of their deals and then review all of the pitch decks as well.
Lamel, what is a recoding? I was looking at your schedule.
I'm sorry, can you repeat? You said Ramel?
Yes, what is a recoding? I was looking at
Recoding?
on your
Or-
schedule. It was says something schedule a recoding with RL cap.
Recording?
Recording.
It-
It's a typo. Oh, I'm sorry. Gotcha.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Okay. Okay, then we got another question for Bruce. It says, Bruce, when can you expect to see return on your investment? And it's $2,500 per share.
It's $2,500 per share. You can definitely buy more than just one share. We are expecting to see close to somewhere around 15 to 18% return. That's projected. I'm not promising those things because we do have to get open and running. This is a brand new venture. So when you invest now, we break ground in 25. Like I said, we'll probably be done in 28, maybe early 29. Then we have a 1 year to 2 year stabilization period. Now, if everything goes according to plan and we make a profit, then we'll definitely do our dividends out that year. But I would probably say it's around the 4 to 5 year mark when you'll start to see your actual return on investment.
And yes, this will be this is being recorded, and yes, everyone will have access to the recording. Now we'll send out the replay to you all. All right. Well, do we have any other questions?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I think everyone put their contact information. You can also reach out and ask them questions on the site directly. There's some questions on the site already, so your questions probably already answered. And also their respective pitch videos on their site as well with the pitch decks if you want to review that, and just contact them directly if you have any questions about the deals or specific questions about the deals. And thank you all so much for tuning in with us. Thank you so much to Adrian, Bruce, and Ramel. I appreciate you all, not only for being with us tonight, but also being on Vestor platform as we continue to, make history. So I thank you all so much. And I thank you all for the folks who've invested in the deals on Vestor, as well as the folks who are even thinking about it and the folks who will. So we appreciate you all and thank you. And you all have a wonderful night and enjoy the rest of your Black History Month. And we will see you all next time on our next Vestor webinar, which will probably be in the end of March. I think March 25th. We're going to have a Women's History Month. So thank you all so much and you have a great one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Good call.